Good morning, everyone. Hello and happy Tuesday. Is everybody having a good day so far? I am, or a good week, I should say, too. Started off well, I hope, and maybe you get tomorrow off. I know I do, as it is Juneteenth, so we have the day off tomorrow, but I am excited to be here with you guys today and talk about our latest release. If you've been tuning in on the fan page over the weekend, then you are well aware what released this morning at 9 o'clock, and hopefully you had fun joining in our guessing game. We have now announced those color names, and I am super excited what you guys think of our Shades of Summer release. And what did you guess? I'm excited to share the color names with you if you haven't heard yet, but I'm more interested to hear if you got all of your color guesses correct. I know we had at least one person who did. She was the lucky winner of a $100 gift card, and then we did give away other smaller gift cards as well to those who played along in the guessing game. So I'm going to turn my comments on here and see if I can see some of you guys and what your guesses were. I have a few of my favorite guesses to share with you guys, some funny ones that you all came up with as we talk about the new colors today. Good morning, Marilyn, out in Southern California. Hi, Rachel. Trisha got one color right. April, you didn't get any correct. Oh, Pam, you got them all. Good for you. I think we did a drawing for anybody who got them all correct. We put your name in a drawing for a $100 gift certificate. So it looks like Charlie commented that 9 people got them all right. And she shared the funny ones to the group. So I'm going to talk about some of those today too. And if you want to check out the fan page for some of our favorite funny guesses. I know sometimes when you have really no clue what it could be, it's just fun to make a funny guess. So Trudy, you got one right. Oh, Sandra, hi, good morning from Myrtle Beach. Hello, Mary, you got one right as well. Pam, yes, all of the winners were posted on our fan page, I believe, this morning. Or at least they were notified with the way that they can claim their winnings. So hello. Hi, Jill and Karen. Kathy's here. Kathy, you got 2 of them right. Kim, you got just 1. Hello, Stacy. Stacy got a womp womp. She said she totally overthought the color name guesses, but that is too funny, you guys. We have a lot of fun with it around here. It's really fun coming up with new color names, but even more fun to have more shades to work with in our color collection. So I am excited to share with you the 3 newest colors that we are adding to our collection here at TE, and they are available in inks, mini and full size, and then we have ink refills, we have cardstock, we have envelopes, and then we have additions to our True Color collection, so you can stamp the color names on your kind of color card sheets if you're keeping those inspiration pieces. So I'm going to go through all of that. Oh, and labels for the sides of your ink pads. Those are very important. I know lots of people use them for other things too. Some people use them on their blender brushes. Some people put them on their cardstock organizers to help know what the cardstock colors are. So those ink pad labels double as lots of other things. And I know people like to pick up more than one set as well, so they can use them for all the TE labeling. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to pull you guys down. Actually, before we get started on the new color release, I have one other announcement I want to make. How many of you are planning to join us for Stamp Joy this fall? Raise your hand. I'd love to know if you're planning to join in person or virtual. We do have a virtual class pass option for those of you that want to take a staycation this year. But also we have our in-person event happening every fall. It's here in Des Moines, Iowa, and registration launched for everyone today. So if you were part of our Rainbow Royalty and Superfans, you got access to that registration page yesterday, a little bit early as a perk. But we opened that registration for everyone today. So I want you guys to check that out. It is a lot of fun. So if you're not able to join us in person in Des Moines, then definitely think about coming to the staycation, the virtual class pass. So the class that we teach at our in-person event, I will also teach virtually. So it is a 3-hour class experience that's taught virtually, kind of similar to the way we do the class when we teach virtual in March, but it's not an all-day event. It's just that one class that gets taught on a Saturday. If you can't attend the virtual event, then you can always rewatch the video later. So there's really no reason not to come to the virtual event. It is super fun, and you get over $50 worth of unreleased products. So we design it specifically for you to use during the class, and the class this year is going to be Go Big with Backgrounds. I know a lot of times backgrounds kind of take the background instead of the forefront. And so we're gonna really show you some fun techniques about how to take those background stamps and make them really the star of the show on your projects. So we are super excited about that, and you can find all of that information on our website. If you click on Connect with Us, and then you click Stamp Joy, that will bring you to a page. You can click Register Now, and then you will be able to see things like the different packages that are available, of course, all the pricing. You can also click a link to the sneak peek for the class if you're looking for that. So super excited. All right, let's see. Paula's gonna go for the virtual class. Oh, fun. Would love to be in Iowa. Mrs. Whitlock, you are all registered for the virtual event. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are able to come virtually, even if you're not able to travel. I know travel doesn't work for everyone, but goodness gracious, if you can travel, you should be here for Stamp Joy. It is such a fun, uplifting, joyful, good time. So I hope if there are others in the group here, you're seeing their comments that they've had a great time attending in the past, making friends, learning new techniques, and just getting together with other people who love this craft as much as you do. It's kind of joining in with your people, the people that understand you, and all of the odd things that we love as crafters, like pretty papers, and every single ink color known to man must be part of our collection. So some of those things that only other crafters understand. But yes, we are excited about that, so check that out. All right, let's get to the new colors in our Shades of Summer release. Here is what we have for you for our special offer today, and I will be sharing with you what all comes in this in just a minute, but I wanted to pop the graphic up so that you could see it. So the full set Syndrome does come at a special price of $80, and you get 1 pack of each of the cardstock colors, 1 pack of envelopes. You get full-size ink pads, mini ink pads, and refills, along with the small stamp set to stamp the different color names and ink pad labels. So all of that comes in the full set Syndrome. And now I'm going to bring you down to some of the beautiful projects that the design team have created with these fun colors. So it's fun to see, always fun to see how they incorporate these colors with colors that we already have in our collection. But the cool thing about these colors is they go so well together. And you can see lots of the designers have used all 3 of our Shades of Summer together on the same card. And sometimes adding in other colors as well. This one has cilantro in addition to the 3 new colors. We'll go through all of these, but first, in case you haven't heard, I'm going to go ahead and announce the color names if you haven't seen them anywhere yet. And we'll go through and talk about how they fit into our color families. And then later on in the live, we're going to craft together, and this is the card that we're going to be making today. So this is a version of a card that I had posted on our inspiration under the product images, and lots of people have asked for details on how to make it. So I decided to do a little something different and do a kind of a fun, unique fold with this project. And I'm going to show you how I made this little cake using the new colors when we craft together. All right, so let's start with our full set Syndrome. So when you purchase the full set Syndrome, as I mentioned, you're going to get 1 pack of each of the cardstock colors, and then the rest of the goodies come in this nice plastic case that you can reuse. It fits 8.5 by 11 paper in it, so it's a great way to travel with your cardstock, specifically because it doesn't get, the edges don't get bent, so it fits 8.5 by 11 just perfectly. And then also in the full set Syndrome, you have those 3 ink pad full size minis and refills. Then we have the small stamp set along with the ink pad labels and a package of each of the envelopes. And these envelopes are square flap envelopes. Some of our envelopes are triangle and some are square. So if you have a preference on that, just make sure you're paying attention to the web image and the description, which will always tell you whether it is square or triangle. So let's talk about those color names then. I'm gonna grab the cardstock here and we'll start with this one on the bottom. This is called Pear. Did you get this one right? I think it looks like a perfect pear color. Kind of maybe a little bit more rusty pear, not quite as bright, but I love this color. It's kind of a yellow green. It's more of a chartreuse if we're going with non-food colored names. But this one had some funny guesses along with it. We had taco was one of the guesses, and beer was also a guess. So instead we went with pear, and a lot of you did guess that correctly as well. I think, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I feel like it was 19% of you guessed this one correctly. So that's pear. Let's take a look at where it fits in with our other greens. And I think we've talked about this before, but green is actually the color that your eye can see the most variation in. So it might seem like we have a lot of greens, but they really do all serve their own purpose. And can you pick out the pear in here? It's this one that almost with these greens looks almost like a yellow. It is really more of a yellow-green color, and you can see it paired with, we have Pea Pod, Granny Smith, this is kiwi here, and then this is, what is this one? That I believe looks like dill pickle. So yes, there it is with all of our current greens. Now I wouldn't use this paired with these greens, but I wanted to show you how this fits into the color family. So there we have pear, and I think it is such a fun and unique color. It leans more retro looking, and I've really enjoyed seeing how it pairs with some of the things we already have in our collection. So next up, let's talk about this one. This one, I think it was the most difficult to guess, but we did have some correct guesses, so that's fun. It's always hard to name teal colors. There aren't a ton of teal foods, but this one we went with rock candy. Have you guys ever eaten the rock candy? It usually comes on a stick and it looks like rocks, kind of like a sucker. It's a hard candy and ends up looking like rocks on a stick. So that is this one, rock candy. And it actually is the paper mill that we got this from. They call this the world's favorite color. So this is just a beautiful blue-green teal. Reminds me of the ocean, somewhere tropical that I've probably never been, but this is how I imagine it to look. So there is rock candy. Let's take a look at where it fits in. It really kind of fits in as a midway point between blue raspberry and poblano pepper. So the rock candy is right here. I'm showing you this kind of quad of colors is confetti cake, blue raspberry, rock candy, and poblano pepper. So you can see how it fits kind of light to dark within that color family. Now there are also a couple others that I have here. These are more of a bluish teal. We have our sour gummy and tropical punch. So you can see how it kind of stacks up against the more green teal versus the blue teal. Really pretty color. I always love to have a good kind of graduated color family, and so it's nice to have this rock candy that fits right in between blue raspberry and poblano pepper. Love it. Let's look at the coordinating OLO marker. So I didn't mention one for pear because there is not a good coordinating OLO for pear. However, for rock candy, it is BG 2.5. Let's see if I can get that up there so you can focus in on that. BG 2.5 is the match for rock candy. And we are working on updating our color match sheet. If it's not already updated, Charlie would have information on that, but it should be available for you guys. That will include now the new colors and their OLO matches, along with the rest of our color collection. The other fun thing that I found that matches incredibly well with rock candy is Tropical Tango Lunar Paste. Look at how perfect that matches. If I pull this open, you can see with the rock candy in the background, this is a perfect match for rock candy. So if you're looking for another matching product, you can grab that Tropical Tango as well. All right, and last but not least, for our Shades of Summer release, we have this beautiful bright purple color. This is called Concord Grape, and I know lots of you got this one right. Oh, I forgot to share some of my favorite guesses for this one. I think my favorite funny guess for rock candy was teal tacos. So kudos to you if you guessed teal tacos. I thought that was really funny. So, okay. Next up was Concord Grape, this beautiful, bright, and bold purple color. Let me show you how it fits in with our current collection of purples, and I'll put it kind of light to dark here. Okay, so this one right in the middle of what I'm showing you, this one is the Concord Grape. So you can see it is a little more blue than the eggplant that's next to it. That one has a little more purple tone to it, and this one has a little more of that royal bluish color tone to the Concord Grape. This here is Jelly Donut against the Concord. Then this one I threw in there is Plum Punch, and then we also have over here is Huckleberry. So that's kind of our darkest purple color. So there you have how it fits in. Let me show you the OLO match here for the Concord Grape is BV 1.7. So that is a perfect match for Concord Grape if you want to grab that OLO while you're shopping, or maybe if you already got the new 32 OLOs, the BV 1.7 was part of the new collection, so you would have that one. Okay, and then also another lunar paste that looks perfect with Concord Grape is called Crown Me. So I thought I'd show you guys, again, I'll open that up and you can see just how perfect that color happens to be with this new cardstock. All right, let's see if I've got some questions. Let's see, Barb, if you're having trouble checking out, definitely contact customer service, and that would be support@tailoredexpressions.com. I don't know of any other issues with checking out today. I've seen lots of orders coming through, so definitely reach out to them. Let's see, I had somebody asking if the cardstock was smooth. Yes, it is smooth in texture and great for stamping and stenciling onto, and also it is 100 pound. So that is what all of our cardstock is. So let's see what else we've got here. Any other questions? Let me know as I keep moving on. We had a guess on Concord Grape that was eggplant plant. So that one made me smile as well, eggplant plant. And I think eggplant actually is too long for the first word, but no matter, it still made me smile. So, all right, there we have the 3 new colors. Now let's take a look at some inspiration and how the creative team put these together with some of our new colors and with some of our previously released colors as well. Since we just talked about the lunar paste, I thought I'd bring these in. and just show you guys. I didn't get a card made with these, but I thought they were really fun. I ended up blending these birthday balloons with the different colors in this release. So we have the pear, rock candy, and the Concord grape. And then I took one of those colors of lunar paste and just used the coordinating stencils in the birthday balloons set to add some dimension and texture to these balloons, and I thought that was just really fun. So I've got to get that made into a card, but I wanted to share that with you. Then we have this card from Susan, which I thought was so cute. I love this. Happy retirement with those drinks from the 5 o'clock somewhere stamp and stencil set. I love the ticks and tacks lightly stamped into the background, and of course that rainbow bright dye through the center just brings those colors to life. So she combined the pear with cilantro, and that looks to be Brussels sprout or jalapeno. It might be jalapeno. Then we've got Cookie Monster, blue raspberry, and rock candy across the bottom. So really pretty colors on that one, and I think it just makes it such a happy festive retirement card. Then we've got some florals. So you might not think floral when you think of these or when you first saw these new colors, but look at how pretty these turned out. So Lori Craig made this card using our Buds and Blossoms stamp and stencil combo, really getting a nice light hand on that purple and creating some dimension with the darker pieces. And then her leaves are in the chartreuse paired with yellow flowers. I think that's really pretty. And then of course she's got the die cut cardstock pieces that coordinate with that Bits and Blooms stencil. And then over here on the right we have this gorgeous kind of nighttime card. I don't know, it's so striking with that dark background and the blending around the edges and all the splattering to really draw those little white flecks out. This one is Jen Schultz created this card, and then she used the chartreuse cardstock for the leaves, blended with some other greens, and she's got rock candy, and of course Concord grape is the background color there with the beautiful butterflies foilet kind of offsetting the whole project. I love it. Then let's talk about this card. Another one from Jen. Lemons. I love lemons. And this really cute mini slim card, you can see her color combination. She included her color card for me here, so I'll pull that out and share that with you in case you want to try this one. Confetti cake, rock candy, pea pod, pear, and lemon meringue. I think that turned out so pretty. Let's see, Pam's asking if the stencil for the drinks makes the colors. Yes, the additional stencil, so the stamp on this is the black outline, and then the stencil Susan used to add a couple different colors to make it look kind of blue raspberry with a little bit of lime in it. So she combined a couple colors through that stencil to get those colors. Let's look at another stenciled card here from Jill. This one, her color combinations are always so unique. Let's pull this one out of the inside here and you guys can take a look at that. This one is pear with rock candy and Concord grape mixed with some blue corn towards the bottom and a couple of grays for the sentiment. So you've got Earl Grey and poppy seed. Love that. Okay, now we're getting into, I showed you guys this card earlier. I'll pull in both of Heather's cards. I love how she, of course, always combines this with toffee. In this case, the colors are really bright and vibrant because she stenciled that bokeh stars onto sugar cube cardstock, but then of course we've got the toffee as the neutral on the card base. And here's a look at her color combination. It's just the 3 new colors on this one. I love how Heather adds these little labels that tell us what other products she uses too on this particular card. That always comes in handy. So there's that one. And then this one really features the cardstock colors and only uses the ink to highlight those die cut pieces. This is the Tropical Leaves die set that she used. and got so much dimension by popping certain leaves up and leaving others kind of down in the background. And then of course we've got our little tiny diamonds. Actually, I think those are white rhinestones. Those are not tiny diamonds, they're white rhinestones. And I think this turned out really pretty. Love it, love it. Okay, a couple more to share with you. This one really features cardstock as well. Lori Craig created this using one of our Easy Strips maps. And then this really pretty die cut here in the center. I think that's called Peace Within, I believe, is where that die cut is from. Really simple. The background does a lot of the talking and would make a really pretty summer birthday card with those bright colors. This one, another unexpected color combination from Jill. I'm going to pull this out here so you can see this color combo. She's got raspberry sorbet and rose water with rock candy, pear, cinnamon, and green tea. And then the beautiful leaves with all the splatter, all the texture that she scored into the background. And I think that just turned out really pretty, kind of an unexpected pastelish autumn color combination. So I think that's really, really cute. And then one last one from Susan here. She used the new Painterly stencil to create this fun element here on the side with our UR stamp and some gold splatters. You guys see those gold splatters on there? Those really make those colors pop too. Lots of gold embellishments being used. All right, so that's what we have. Of course, we have more inspiration on our website. We also have on the Tailored Expressions blog, we have linked to all of our design team pages so you can go and check out everybody's projects. Really fun stuff that everyone created. So definitely head to the blog and then you can click on the different names and head over to those blogs. I think projects that I don't have in front of me, Emily Midlowski had projects, Debbie Bauer had beautiful projects, and Amy Coling and Melody Rupel. I think those are the 4 designers that I don't have cards in front of me for, but you'll definitely want to check those out through the blog. Okay, let's see. Should we craft together? Let's do it. This is what I shared with you that I'm going to be creating today, and I created a version of this card when we released this birthday candles die set. I don't know, I think it was back in March or so. But I decided, we had a lot of people asking, how did I make the cake portion that I put at the bottom? And I thought it would be fun to show just a different way to make a card base. So I actually took a top folding card base and made it side folding. We're gonna cut off the top half of it to create this fun opening. And then of course the sentiment, is it hot in here or is that just all the candles on your cake? So a fun one to give to someone as they're aging. Even though I only fit 11 candles on the card, I probably could fit some more if I really wanted to squeeze more in there. But we're gonna go ahead and create this. So I'm gonna grab my die cut machine and we'll work on the actual card base portion of the card first. All right, let's take that. This is an A2 card base in sugar cube that I would typically call top folding, but I'm just gonna turn it on its side and use one of our dies to cut off the front portion of the card. I'm actually cutting off about the top 2/3 and leaving the bottom 1/3 connected. It's really, I mean, you can determine how high you want your cake to be, but I wanted my candles to kind of stick up and not go over the top of my card. So I chose to cut this on the bottom 1/3 of my card front. And I'm going to be using the die from the Build-A-Scene Snowdrifts. I believe this is called Build-A-Scene Snowdrifts. And there are 3 different dies in this set. These are 2 of them. I'll be using this one for the chocolate frosting layer. And then this one is kind of the top of the cake. It just gives a nice subtle kind of hump to the cake. So we're gonna take this and I'm lining it up so that the die does not go over the fold line. It just goes right up against that scored line in the card base. And then I'm going to tape this down and we'll send that through. Okay, so this is what we have here. And if you can see, it is all still connected together. But what I want to do then is cut off, starting on the score line at the top, I'm going to cut off this portion. And then this is going to end up being the front of my card. And then this is the part that will be the inside that will end up stenciling. So I'm going to take my paper trimmer and just trim off the top here. I don't want to go too far, just until that top piece disconnects like that. Okay. Hold please. My computer is plugged in and the volume is on, so okay, sorry about that. My text was dinging on my computer. Okay, so this is the card base then that we're going to end up using. Before I get to kind of decorating the inside of the card and such, I'm going to cut the cake layer and the frosting layer for my cake. And we're going to do that with a piece of toffee. And I'm going to take the same die that I used to cut the frosting. I'm going to kind of tack this or line this up just like this. And then I can take that same die and we're going to line that up with the edge here of the one that I already cut. And that's going to make sure that this new one is cutting just the right spot. And then we'll send that through. So this is our cake portion for the front of the card. It's going to go on just like that. And then we need our little frosting part here. So to do the frosting, we're going to take the other die that has a little bit different curve to it. And I'm going to kind of determine that I want my frosting about like this. I need to leave enough space to stamp my sentiment down at the bottom. I might have kind of done this a little bit shorter than my original one. I would probably go up another 1/2 inch so I could have a little bit more frosting, but I do want to make sure I can stamp my sentiment down there. So what I am going to do is take this piece of cinnamon is the cardstock that I'll be using for this, and I'm going to take and put this die along with this die, and we're going to cut this layer at the same time. Let me see if I can do this here. We'll line this up. So this is going to be the top of my cake where I want my frosting. And I'm just going to put that die down and line up that cut line with what I did before. And then we're going to peel this piece off. And this is where I'll take this frosting piece then and kind of arrange that underneath. I think I want it like this though. And that should leave enough room down here for my sentiment. And we're going to cut both of these pieces together. And then this part right in the middle here is what is going to end up being my frosting. So these the top and bottom piece are discarded for my scrap drawer, and the middle piece is what we will use. So let me pull that out and you can see how this is all going to come together. So we've got cake layer, frosting layer, front of the card. And all of those pieces will just adhere right on top of each other. So then the bottom of your cake can open up and kind of reveal a sentiment on the inside, and also we'll start putting our candles up from here. So let's go ahead and add some dimension to these cake pieces. I'm going to blend them just a touch. I'm going to add some cinnamon ink to the top of my frosting layer to give it dimension. And I'm going to use a bitty blender brush for that. So this is just cinnamon. I love this as a kind of chocolatey looking color. It's not quite as dark as chocolate truffle. It just looks like hot fudgy to me. Okay, so that's going to be on the top with a little bit of that dimension. And then we're going to add a little bit of dimension to the cake around the bottom edges. And I'm going to do that tone on tone toffee cardstock with toffee ink, and then my toffee blender brush. And we'll just add a little bit of that shading around the bottom. I don't know about you guys, but I shade a lot with my inks. Just adding that extra bit of dimension. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it really makes your card look more realistic. It makes it pop. Okay, so there's a little bit of toffee. Let's wipe my desk clean here. I think I'm missing my alcohol. Not the kind you're thinking. I am missing my alcohol spray bottle, so I had to run and grab that a second. And we'll just clean up this glass board. Got a little bit of adhesive here. You know what? I really intended to get my nails done and do them in one of the new colors, but that was just something that didn't get accomplished yesterday before my live today, but I certainly need to go finish, or not finish, get my nails redone. It is time. Okay, so we put the frosting on top of the cake. I've got a little bit of cardstock down here that got kind of messed up, so cut that off, and then we'll put a little bit of the adhesive on the back of the cake. And then here's that card base. Go ahead and tack that down. So we've made our cake, right? Perfect. Just like that. Let's go ahead and do our stenciling next. And I have this confetti toss stencil that seems to be just perfect for this project. I want it on the inside of my card here, and I'm going to position it so that we have the majority of the confetti at the top and it kind of falls towards the bottom of the cake. I'm doing this in a very light color because I don't want it to overwhelm the candles, and I chose confetti cake to go with the other colors in my project. I'm going to use a little bit of Post-it removable labeling tape. It can serve a couple purposes. Make sure that I don't get excited and get some ink over on this side, and then it can also help hold down my stencil a little bit while I'm blending, along with those great magnets. So just a little bit of that confetti cake. Not too dark. I might peek here in just a second, peek underneath and see how I did with blending. Might have gotten a little dark on a couple of them, but that's okay. I have been told I am heavier handed with my blending, so even when I try to be light-handed, I really have to hold back. Okay, let's peek under there then. I think that looks good. Yes, yes. Okay, so we'll pull that up. Now I'm going to grab my stamps and my Misty, and we'll go ahead and stamp the sentiment on our cake, and then the sentiment on the inside is one of our older stamp sets, but everyone continues to love it, so we continue to keep it around. But the outside sentiment is from, where did that stamp set go? Here. The outside sentiment, I used Make a Wish from Happy Hooray. So I am going to take that out. I'm going to make a confession. So the first time I made this card, I stamped my sentiment crooked. So I'm going to do something here today to help myself. Sometimes I do this if I have a particularly difficult time. Usually I can get it first try, but since I've already messed this up once, I am going to use our, it's called our clear alignment panels for the Misty, and I actually need to go grab it really quick. We have these grid line panels that are made of a laminated material, and the grid is printed on them. You can see I've got one that has a, here I'll wash this off really quick, but it has a sentiment on it already, but they just wipe clean. You can use a little bit of alcohol if you have a stubborn inking that's been on there for a while, or you can just wipe it clean with a baby wipe when you're done. But this is going to help protect my card. It has, like I said, that grid line on it, and then I'm going to place it down on top of my project. I'm going to take my VersaFine Clair ink, and then I'm going to stamp this down onto the clear piece so that I can see if it is perfectly aligned there. And actually, I did not mess it up this time. It is perfectly straight. So now what I can do is just take that clear piece out. I can wipe that off so that it's ready to use the next time. And then I can ensure that my stamp is perfectly where I want it. So if you haven't seen those clear alignment panels, I know I don't use them a lot on the live, but I think they are a really helpful tool, and I do use them quite often in my stamping. And a lot of times what I use them for is just deciding where I want a sentiment. So a lot of times I will stamp it on here, and whether it's straight or not, I can put it up here. Do I like it up here? Do I like it over here or over here? And before I commit to stamping it on my card, I can really see a lot of different spots where it could go. So that's another way that we often use these while we're crafting. So now I'm going to take and turn my Misty this direction. I'm going to open up the inside, and we're going to stamp that inside sentiment. This is that older set that continues to stick around because it's so fun. It's called Bright Birthday, and the stamp I'm using is It Hot in Here, or is that just all the candles on your cake? So kind of a funny one if you like to be a little snarky with your cards. And I'm going to place that again down at the bottom. I want to make sure that my flap will cover the sentiment when it is stamped. And then we're going to pick that up with the lid again. And since I have my, ooh, I got really crooked on that one, so we're going to pick it up and move it based on what I can see of the grid on the lid. And now I have my piece again that I can place down here. I want to make sure that I don't get that smeared. And I'm looking at this and thinking, I think I made it worse. Okay. Okay, I think it's straight now. So we'll see how I did when we stamp it down on the clear panel. and it is crooked. You can see it kind of goes down towards the right just a little bit. So now I can take my, with that information, I can pull up that side of the stamp just a hair, and then we'll go ahead and wipe this off. Got a little bit of alcohol here. I'm just gonna spray it on my rag and then wipe this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that one more time. Now that I adjusted my stamp, see if I got it any better or made it worse. Looks good to me. I might move this just a hair down. Okay, I feel good about that. So we're gonna go ahead and take this clear piece out then and stamp again with the ink. There it is, perfect on the inside. Now all we have to do is add our candles. And you can decide how many candles you want to add. Of course, if you have a younger person's birthday card, you could match that to the number of years that they are. But I did do a lot of the candles ahead of time because it's a lot of die cutting and gluing. So I think I have most of my candles kind of die cut and glued together. This candle set is called Birthday Candles, and it includes these 3 pieces. So there are backers for the candle, which I cut out of white for all of these. You could do them different colors too. And then we have the patterned piece for the candles. And then we have the candle flames. So there's a big flame, and if you want to layer the flame, you can put the little flame inside the big flame in 2 different colors to give it some dimension. So that's what I use to create these candles, and I think we'll go about just kind of adhering or setting down what candles I'm going to use here. Start on the outside. A couple of my candles already have flames on them, and I'm going to show you how I did those in just a little bit here. I think we'll tuck this one behind. So some of the candles I'm adhering behind the flap and some will go in front, and that's just another way to give you a little bit of dimension on the project. I think I want a shorter one next. We'll go with another shorty here. Now let's go with a tall one behind. Not a huge rhyme or reason to exactly where I'm placing these, but I just want to make sure that my colors are varied, and I'm kind of not placing them perfectly spaced apart. I want to give them a little bit of that whimsy of not being perfect. So let's go with this lighter one on the outside here. So my color combo that I cut these out of is, I took this from Susan's card, so thank you, Susan. I loved her teals and greens. So I did pear, cilantro, blue raspberry, and rock candy. So those are the 4 colors of my candles. So let's go ahead and get these glued down then. And we'll do the ones on the front first. Then we'll make our flames, and then I'll show you how I got the flames in the background, which is very fun and I think adds to the fun of the project. Okay. Who said grr? I knew I'd see something that I wanted to add to cart. That usually happens. It's okay. That's why we have that wish list feature. And it's also why our free shipping threshold is only $50. It's not too tough to get to, $50, and then we will ship it to you for free if you forgot something. Okay. Now we have these that are going to go on the kind of inside flap here. If I pull that up and press it onto the candle. One more. How many did I end up with this time? 9. I ended up with 9 candles on this one. This one had 11, so I got a couple more on there. Kind of your personal preference, whatever you want to add. So some of those candles are adhered on the inside and some on the outside, which just gives your project more dimension. So super fun. Okay, now we need to do our candles. So I'm actually going to get out my Mink today. We haven't done this for a little while. I know I've shown this technique before. It seems silly calling it a technique even, because it is really just a really easy way to do foiling, or to create foiled elements, I should say. So we'll go ahead and set the mini Mink to a 3. I have my carrier sheet and my Foil Magic shim here, along with some deco foil toner paper and my holographic gold glitter fun foil. I love this, especially for party type cards. It has the really fun holographic glittery look to the background. And we'll go ahead and cut a little piece of this. I have my Tim Holtz scissors here that I am using these days to, oh, what do they call it? Spring release. The words, sometimes they just escape me. But they have that spring tension on them, which makes them a lot easier to grip and cut with. I cut a piece of foil to make sure that it covered the entire black toner portion of that paper. We'll cut off a little bit of excess, and then we'll go ahead and send this through. Once it turns green, and then after that, we're going to grab the die cut machine, and I am going to die cut the flames using the coordinating die from, or using the flame die from the birthday candles set. While I'm waiting for this to heat up, I have an OLO Marker OR 3.8, and this is another little detail that you don't have to do, but I'm going to add that little bit of shading on the bottom of each of these candles to kind of make it look like it's sitting inside of the frosting. So just a little bit towards the bottom of those candles that are adhered on top of the frosting. I show you guys that. We'll go ahead and put this through with the fold side first, and then I'll show you guys those little lines there that allow you to see a little bit of dimension on the bottom of those candles. All right, it's coming through. I went and grabbed my mini die cut machine so that I don't have to bring the big guy back in again. But I love using this, especially with my glass board, because it has this suction on the bottom of it that sticks so well to the glass board. This is not moving anywhere. So, okay, let's pull this out. I'm gonna let it cool just a little bit. Move that out of the way. And then this foil is going to stick to everything that was black, which was the entire piece of paper that I put through. So when I peel this up, that foil is transferring from the foil sheet onto the toner panel. And then we can just take that and put it through with those flame dies. I think I need to cut it twice because I need more than 5 flames. So there's 5 flames on here, and we'll just send it through a couple times. Poke out those. Save all the little guys too. You never know when you might want to add them to a project. They'd be cute if you had a cardstock layer cut for the big flame and then put the foil layer as the tiny flame. Okay, so get that out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and adhere this then. Adhere the little flames right behind the candles. And I'm going to do that by just placing a little dot of adhesive on each candle as far as I can to the top of the candle. And then we're going to take our pieces, our flame pieces, and we can just position them right over the top there and kind of push them down into place. I don't think I have my embelly jelly, so I'm just using my fingers to grab these flames. But if you have trouble grabbing little things, get your pickup tool, embelly jelly or something similar, and just pick up the piece from the back and stick it down onto the adhesive. Okay. There we have it. Let me straighten out some of these if they got a little crooked on me. Okay, so there it is with all the foiled flames on it. Now, one of my favorite parts of this first card that I created are the little glows behind the candles. So I'm going to do that with the pineapple ink pad. And this is where I love using our detail blender brushes. It's going to give me a perfect round kind of halo around the outside of each of these little flames. So what I'm going to do is just kind of keep that in place, visualize where this is going to go, lift it up, and just kind of do a little round and around until I feel like I have a nice halo of color. If I want to add it a little bit more, I can keep going so that it glows up a little bit farther out of the top of the candle. And then I'm just going to do that for all of them. So grabbing some ink, visualizing where that candle flame is going to land. If you're not too keen on just kind of eyeballing where it's going to be and going for it, you could put like a tiny little pencil mark or something like that to help you visualize where the flame is going to land. And you really can't go too wrong with this either. Just kind of keep blending until you feel like you have a nice glow. Close it back down and see if you want to add any more. There's what it's looking like with 4 of them done, and I've got 5 left to do. So just keep swimming. That's what Susan and I say around here when we're on the struggle bus and we just need to keep pushing through it. And usually we make it to the other side without too many pieces ending up in the trash. We just keep swimming. All right, 2 more. And I think as I'm doing this again, I would recommend visualizing where your flame is going to land and then going up a little bit from that, because I am liking the ones where the flame or the glow kind of comes out the top of the flame. You don't want to get too low and have it come out the candle part of the flame, or of the candle part of it. All right, so there it is. There were a few other things that I added to this project, and I can show you guys those. I don't have to bore you with the gluing down of things, but this is the insides of these patterns. I cut them out of white, and then I added them as sprinkles. So I've got them in my little dish here, and what I would do is just kind of pick these up and place them down and figure out where I want those sprinkles on the frosting part of the cake to give it a little bit something extra. So I'll glue those down once I end the live here, but there's another idea for you to add. I also thought it would be fun to put some of our tiny diamonds into the background, kind of dotting that stencil blend that we had. And these, a couple of colors in the Tiny Diamonds pastel set, I thought would go great. We have the confetti cake and the blue raspberry would be great colors to kind of add to the background if you wanted even more bling. So there you have it. What do you guys think? Fun? Can you see yourself making this? I've seen others add additional kind of pieces onto this so that the card continues to fold out. So if you had someone celebrating a real big milestone of a birthday, you could put a real amount of candles on there for their age and just continue extending the card so that it flips out and continues on. So another idea for you there. All right, I'm going to come back and say farewell for today and let you know what is coming. As always, we have new stuff coming next week, so you guys know I will be here on Tuesday. How is it already the last Tuesday in June? I don't know, but it is, and so that means it's time for our kit release, so I'll be back on Tuesday with that. In the meantime, Susan has the live on Thursday, so she'll be here exploring some more things with our new colors. So tune in for that, 10 o'clock on Thursday, and of course we'll have some tea for her to spill. Hopefully it will go a little bit better than the last time I had her spill some tea because I was gone and I forgot to set it out and it was a whole thing, but it will be fun. So make sure you tune in on Thursday as well, and I hope you guys have a great